Adi, and if you're new, well, hey, what's up, what's good? Thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Today I'll be talking about the misconceptions of studying psychology. There are not that many, but they're kind of important, okay? So let's just jump right into this. First and foremost, please, as a belief, I'm begging, we're all begging, we're tired, we're so tired of this. We can't read your mind. That is number one. Someone who's studying psychology cannot read your mind. That's just not how life works. That's not how the world works. That's just not how it works, okay? We can't read your mind. We don't know what's going on in there. I don't think we want to know what's going on in there. It's more of like a situation or like a thing of, not that I can read your mind, I read your body language, I read you, like your twitches, your movements, your so on and so forth. And why it's like the study of the mind is because I'm exactly doing that, studying the mind, not jumping into it. I'm not jumping into your mind. I can't do that, okay? After a couple of sessions, I'm pretty sure a psychologist will I don't want to say assume, but like start to see how you roll down the hill. You know, you don't roll down the hill like Jack did. You roll down the hill like you do, you know, because you are your own person. So it's not a thing of I am jumping into your mind, I can pluck through it, and no. I just become accustomed to it, and I become accustomed to your mannerisms, your movements, your body language, your speech, your thought process, your so on and so forth. It's a building and a learning experience. You're always studying, you're always learning with psychology. I'm not jumping into your mind, please. Second one would be that people think it's an easy degree. It's not easy, okay? Just because you hear Bachelor of Arts doesn't mean it's easy, doesn't mean it's all practical, doesn't mean it's all freaking easy, man. Like, it's not. I just don't think anything in university is easy. I don't think anyone is paying money, and that much money at that, to go to university to do something that's easy. If you are in university, you're in varsity, you're in college, whatever you call it, it's not easy. You know that. You're in that dorm room, you're in that room, you're wherever you are, and you're stressing the hell out because, oh my freaking goodness, what is this before me? You know? No one going through that is going through anything easy. So again, we are all begging you. The whole of the humanities are begging you. Stop thinking we're doing something easy. Just because your weight load or your workload is far bigger than mine doesn't mean sometimes it's not even. Do you know how many pages and pages and pages of books we have to read for one test? You need to read, like, I'm sure way more than 300 pages. Like, listen, it's a lot of work. And that's not like the only thing that's going to make it a lot of work. What you're reading, what you need to memorize, what you need to know is hard. If I had to ask you to give me a diagnostic criteria after making you study that for a week, I doubt you'd be able to give it to me, okay? I've had multiple diagnostic criteria at this point in an exam, okay? That thing is difficult. That thing is not easy, okay? I'm getting hella tight for real because it's not easy. A psychology degree is not easy. Next is like a stigma that I really would love to like remove. The stigmatization that seeing a psychologist means there's something wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with seeing a psychologist. As a future psychologist, I should see a psychologist so that I can learn the ways of therapy. You know, it's much easier to learn it that way when you're in the session. You know, so it's not like I'm gonna go there and speak about nothing. I'll probably end up speaking about things that I never even knew like bothered me, you know. But that's the point. I've only went to see a psychologist once, and that was actually because something traumatic had happened, so I had to see one. And I don't mind it. I liked the experience. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not like it's a weird stigma. Like, there's nothing that has to be wrong with you to see one, you know. There's nothing. You don't need to have a mental illness, a mental breakdown, a mental anything. Like, nothing has to be societally wrong with you to go see a psychologist. If you're feeling down that specific day and you've been feeling down for a few days, not even like because that's not what depression is, because people are going to be like, oh, I feel so depressed. No, you don't. You just feel down. So even though, you know, something like that was happening, you can still go. If you've had a good day, you can go. You know, just have someone with a fresh perspective to speak to, someone who will enlighten you on things, like I'm saying, you know, things you probably never even knew bothered you, or not even bothered you, but who like unlock more potential in you. Like there's so much that could go down in a psychology consultation room. There's so much that could happen. You could really like open lots of doors in your mind just by doing that. There's absolutely 100%, I promise you, not just because I'm studying this, but like literally there's nothing wrong with it. It's just society trying to throw on its stigmas. There's so many stigmas around psychology and this profession, and the things that we study, and the people that we study, and the disorders that we study, and everything like that. And I'm genuinely trying to make it my life's mission at this point to just try and destigmatize, or try and teach people just a little bit more, you know, to show you that, you know what, it's not actually what society tells you it is. The next one is another common one. A psychologist and a psychiatrist are not the same thing. Psychologist, psychiatrist, they're not the same. Psychologist, I mean, if you're watching this, you want to be a psychologist, you know what we are. I just explained it with the first point, you know. It's more mental. It's more you're trying to find what triggered this, what's leading up to this, how did it happen, why is it happening, how can I lessen it, how can I try to ease it, how can I, you know, it's all very mental. You're working a lot with the mental. That's why people think you can read minds. You're working a lot with the cognitive, you know, framework, unless you're doing research, but I'm sure there's still some cognitive stuff there. You know, you're dealing with the mind, you're dealing with how the treatment and stuff like that, or not really like treatment, but like I'm saying, you know, the easing, the helping will work. Then a psychiatrist is, you can't even study psychology and think you're going to switch to psychiatry. Psychiatry is medicine. You'd have to go to the faculty of medicine to do it. It's medical, you know, because you're dealing with the medicine of it. You know, a psychologist will refer you to a psychiatrist, so the psychiatrist can give you the pills and whatever. Psychologists cannot give you pills. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to give you say, okay, I think you need to get antidepressants, I think you need to get ABCDFG, you know, and then they're gonna write it down for you, and you take it to the psychiatrist or a clinic, whatever. But the point is, psychologists will never give you medicine. It's not what they're trained to do. Whereby a psychiatrist is a branch of medicine devoted to the diagnosis, prevention, study, and treatment of mental disorders, you see. So they instead of trying to pick and prod your mind, and not physically, pick and prod your mind and try and figure out what happened, why, how, all of that, they're going to, in a lesser sense, figure that out, and then just give you, not just, it's not like a whim thing, but they'll prescribe you some medication, and that is what a psychiatrist does. So they're not the same, they're not remotely the same. Like I said, one is medicine, one is not medicine, you know. Even though you get called a doctor at the end of a PhD for psychology, you're still, like, you're not medical, you know. You'll wear scrubs, I doubt it actually, but unless you work in the hospital, but even that I kind of doubt, like, why? You know, so they're, I hope you get it, they're not the same. They're not the same. Next to that, there's there's one branch of psychology. Psychology is just one broad, humongous spectrum. I suppose in hindsight it is, but if we're being very technical and we're looking into the technicalities and the correctness, it's not one broad, wide, who's magajit. There's different branches of psychology. So I guess it's one big tree, but yeah, you know, then branches, and there's different branches inside of it. In South Africa, we have clinical, we have research, we have counseling, we have educational, and we have industrial. You can get registered with the HPCSA for those 5 at the time of this recording. And then there's other ones, you know, there's biopsychology, there's neuropsychology, there's behavioral, community, there's a whole bunch, cognitive, there's a whole bunch of psychologies. You know, you're not just gonna find one little intimacy. No, there's a broad range of psychologies. I'll get into much detail with this in another video if anyone's really interested. I really feel like I should do one about that. So yeah, there's those branches, and yeah, it's just not one intimacy thing. Every single university teaches it differently, so I can't even tell you, because I went to UP, so that's my experience with it, undergrad. So they teach differently to UJ, to VET, to UCT, you understand? So yeah. Another one, this one is so funny because it applied to me. You can't run away from maths by choosing psychology, okay? It's not that I was running away from maths, but I just thought I'd never see it in my life again, you know, unless I had to like count milligrams or something, you know? But no, it's there, babe, it's there. Whether you're studying research psychology or not, it is there. Research is prominent, it is imminent, it is everywhere. You are gonna have that module until the walls come tumbling down, okay? Research is always there. You're always going to do research, always going to do statistics. So you might as well, my lovelies, first year or not, you might as well start working out all those things, standard deviation, all of them, T-scores. Listen, ooh, love, get into it, because ciao. It is there. You can't run from it. You can't run from mathematics. You can't run from freaking statistics. Out of all the mathematics, statistics, those stresses me out. Okay, so you can't run from that. It's there. It's really there. Okay, it's my love. I had 2 research modules this year, like, and this was my honors year. Like, you can't run from it. Don't think maths is out of the picture. It ain't. It's gonna peep right back in. And then the final one is one that I repeat so much, but it's so important. It's not a 3-year course. It's not a 3-year degree. If you're not in South Africa, it's not a 4-year degree, okay? Because over there, they're so much smarter everywhere else in the world. They make it into 4 years. Because I mean, it's not like you don't need the honors year. You need it. You can't be a psychologist without doing the honors. So I don't know why in South Africa they split them, but everywhere else in the world, it's a 4-year thing. So it is not a 4 in your country or a 3 in our country. Your course, that it ain't it, boom. It ain't. It can go as far as 8 years if you keep splitting things, because you can split honors as well. It can go up to 9 years, can go up to 10 years. My lovely, it can go on, okay? If you thought you were running away from medicine, as childlike me thought I would, because I thought 7 years was too much, boo boo, you gonna do it anyway. You gonna do it anyway. It ain't a 3-year course. There's the undergrad, South Africa, there's undergrad, honors, masters. After masters, register with HPCSA, and boom bam, and there's a test you have to take with the HPC. It's a board exam, so you don't just register and done. No, you have to take a board exam. And then if you want to be Dr. Smang Mang, PhD, my love. So it's not 3 years. 3 it was a scam. It was a lie. It was a lie. She lied. Telling you, she lied. That ain't it, boo boo. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye.